Hello and welcome to this special midweek edition of the GORECAST. Why is it midweek we're here? Well, because it's the only time we could actually get our guests in. And what guests we have? Haha! From the film Pitchfork, we have producer and producer-director Darryl... I'm going to mangle your name.
Gariglio.
Told ya.
Gariglio.
Darryl Gariglio and Glenn Packard. Gentlemen, welcome, and I apologise for mangling your names.
It was a valid attempt. You've got attempt. I told you I should have done it. Okay, so anyway, Pitchfork is one of the movies that we featured on the GORECAST 2 weeks ago. Well, a week and a half ago, seeing as we're having a midweek.
Showed the trailer for it. It looked cool.
Yeah, it's good. The trailer was very, very cool. So, Darryl is the producer and Glenn is the director on the film. So, guys, tell us a little bit about how Pitchfork came about, I suppose.
Yeah, so I was in the entertainment business as a choreographer with the artist, and I had the idea of Pitchfork in my head for the last 8 years, brewing in my mind. I've always loved the horror genre and have been a fan of it, so really wanted to follow my passion of directing a horror film. So I said, what the fuck? And the top of last year, met with my friend Darryl, who we went to high school, middle school together, and we happened to be in Vegas at the same time. And so got together. He went to school for screenwriting, and we just put our heads together, started writing, and then got a bunch of friends that I had throughout the 25 years in the industry, put them all together, went to my farm in Michigan, and Pitchfork was born.
It's very handy having a farm for a set straight away, isn't it?
I didn't actually realize.
Yeah, it's kind of a loosely based on a true story. There's a family that lived nearby, and they had a just kind of an odd background. And when we were kids playing on the farm, we'd play in the old shacks in the woods, and we'd make up stories about the family. And so I think from there, that's when the first seed was planted. And just over the years, he probably kept it and let his imagination run wild with it. So that's and you'll see the cabin in Pitchfork. That's one of the sugar shacks we used to play in, or he did. And we used it as a prop in the movie.
I'll be honest, having that knowledge about the fact that the farm is your own, the fact that you grew up around there, all of a sudden the reasoning for certain elements of your story, how it came together that way, have become crystal clear, because there are times you're watching the film and you're kind of like, I like the premise, I like the idea, but the setting, just some aspects of the film, the setting seemed...
Yeah, I was able to actually really build the scenes when we were creating it.
Yeah,
I actually was able to envision each of the areas in the farm, because we have this huge acre farm, one of the largest in the Midwest. And I was able to really think about, okay, if Pitchfork is going to be bringing his victims to a bloodshed, we have this bloodshed in the woods that we can play with, and all the other scenes too, from everything from when they meet in the hayfield to the house, the stone house where the parents live. That's where I grew up as a kid. So, it was all in my mind, and all the scenes, I knew exactly where to film them. And there was only one part where we had a bone pit that I wanted. We have all these cows that are dead in a graveyard in our farm. But that was all buried, and it was not available to us. So we had to literally make a bone pit. That was the only thing that was different from our set.
And that was off the farm altogether, or?
No, it was still on the farm, but we literally had to take a. What did we take? What was that machine called?
We had to bring it back and dig it out.
We had to we made a bone pit.
And unfortunately, the original set where we wanted it was much better and it fit into the story. But because we shot this in 25 days with one camera and 4 lights. So
that's impressive.
There's an aggressive schedule, and because of that, we didn't have time to really think about what we could do. We just had to act fast and get it done. So we did that and made the bone pit in the barn instead of
actually. That's
I tell you,
very impressive.
Yeah, for something that you did on one camera in 25 days, the film looks slick as shit. Putting it politely. We've seen, when it comes down to independent films, a lot of the time the camera work, just the quality or whatever way, it can look grainy or it can look like it's done on a first cam. the camera work for this, I would have thought that you had a proper rigging and all the rest of it, and that you were at it for a while, because it just looks so smooth, to be perfectly honest.
Even for only having, what sort of lights were there? Like LED panels or?
Yeah, LED panels, and we had 2 hand fluorescent lights.
Wow, because I mean, like, just the way that, like, we were even kind of just having a quick little refresher at the start just before we were talking to you, and I was even saying, like, it's lit so beautifully.
It's all bright and
lighting is
vibrant and
beautiful.
sickeningly colourful.
Yeah.
You know what? It's funny because a lot of that was natural lighting too. Like when when Pitchfork's standing in front of that barn and it's all green, like that light was letting out a green kind of tint light. The other barn, like all of them had this like color to them.
I actually was full sure that you were there with like a little green light and you were trying to do like a one of those music video special effect jobbies or something to make it look a little bit creepy.
That's even more impressive that you're
Yeah.
actually using your natural elements that's around you.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
but we had 2 panels and 2 hand lights, and that's what we used. But we did have good lighting. Actually, we shot it a year ago, August. In Michigan, that's a real hot and humid time, but it was actually unseasonably cold. So that played to our advantage. We had more natural fog that we would have had too. So it played to our advantage when we did shoot it.
I gotta ask, the guy that played Pitchfork, Noreen Marriott, is it?
No, Daniel.
Daniel
that's
Logan.
producer, sorry.
Somebody
I was like, Noreen Marriott. Whoops.
Hey, John Wayne was called like Marion or something.
I gotta say, he's such like a visually crazy looking kind of character. How did you kind of come up with that? Like the pitchfork for a hand and.
Well, again, this is a character that was in my head for a long time. So I'm also inspired by Leatherface and how, he took all of the skins off of people and put it on. So Pitchfork, you're going to find out later on in life, had lived his whole life. You can kind of figure it out as a dog. When he lived underneath a kitchen table his whole life as a young boy all the way up until his early 20s. So he was very much dog-like. So when he finally was free, he embraced that part of him and became part animal. So he replaced his face with a dog face. And then I always imagined, of course, the character's Pitchfork, and hence the reason why he had to have a pitchfork type hand. And I'm a huge fan of course, Freddy Krueger, and I'm also a huge fan of Wolverine in the comic books. So I really wanted to create a character that is like that. And of course, he isn't exactly like those characters yet, because Pitchfork 1 is really becoming Pitchfork. He's really becoming the monster.
Still in
and
the
so,
infancy stages.
So it's
He's
its
a
own
pup.
origin story.
He's a pup, not the dog yet. Yeah, I like that.
yes, exactly. And then later on in the franchise, you see him really become. He is now. He knows who he is. He knows he's a monster, a beast, and he's very much, the
Owning it.
the characteristics of like Wolverine and Freddy Krueger for sure.
Brilliant. Another thing, I've never seen a dance number in the middle of a horror movie before.
Not gonna lie, lads,
I did pre-mention I was going to have to mention this.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think one of my favourite lines in the film is when they all arrive on at the house and the old fella turns around and he just goes, "The Breakfast Club just puked up on my lawn." And I think the dance scene kind of exemplifies that, because it's all colourful and bright and choreographed, and you're sitting there going, I was watching a horror film. What the what the hell? Where did this come from?
Yeah, I feel like that part of it, that's in our trailer. When you see the trailer come out, I had to have that line. I always envision that line in our trailer.
I think it's the best line in the film.
I proper laughed out loud when it was said.
Yeah, good. That's a good sign. And then with the barn dance, I come from this dance world, and I want to stay true to myself. So it's kind of like almost like John Travolta. He dances in all of his films. I think in every movie I do, I will always have like a little kind of dance scene. And with Glee being popular in the States, and that kind of genre being, dance is really popular in the pop culture right now in the States. So I think it kind of fits, and it's a nice little extra, that you get out of the film. And I think the millennials that's who we're trying to hit, is this younger generation of new horror fans. That's who I'm really trying to cater to, is them as well. And so it's got that whole Glee kind of feel to it at the beginning of the movie.
I'll be honest, like I said earlier, having heard your background, it explains the setting, the fact that it is on the farm. I'll be honest, man, I saw that scene, I was scratching my head going, okay, I know the guy's a choreographer, this stuff looks like an MTV fucking music video, it really does look all pretty and bright. Why is this story not taking place in a haunted dance studio or something else that would actually give it a reason for this really music video style element in the middle of a horror film?
Which I did argue back with the point that as it's a barn dance, technically they would be all line dancing as they were.
As I said, it's
right,
one of those
and they all come from a school of arts in New York City. So that Hunter's friends are all artists, and they have that gene in them. And that's kind of the true story, or that's actually based off a true story of me coming out to my parents. And it was the exact same thing. And that's what we do. When we all get together, we do that kind of stuff. We have a party, we'll dance. We all know the same routines. Like that's what we do. It's like it's a dance jubilee type of thing. And also growing up as a young boy in Clare, Michigan, we had Footloose. And so that's really homage to Footloose, that scene right there. But then, of course, turning it into, horror all of a sudden.
Who doesn't walk down the street and suddenly break into song? I do it.
Yeah, but you're the only one here that thinks it was in Bollywood.
I'm just saying.
That's because you want to live in Bollywood.
I haven't danced.
Yeah, it's kind of a setup too for a contrast later on, because in another there's 3 parts to it. So in another part there's gonna be another dance scene, but it's gonna be a contrast where that's just slash and murder in that one. So it's a setup to mirror like that scene into the next one, where it just slash and burn. The next one.
I've actually one of the we used to kind of do local horror movie nights in Limerick. One of the things that we used to do as part of it was we'd show short movies. When I saw it, I was actually reminded of, it's actually called a zombie musical, and it's all these dance numbers and song routines and things like that. And all I was going through my head is, man, this is really good. The dance routine, this is really good. If only it was a film that was entirely musical, dance, horror, like Repo, the Genetic Opera, or like that.
Yeah.
So please, considering how well you did that scene, the next time you want to mix them together, do a story that mixes them for a good reason. Do a haunted dance studio or a maniac dancer or something crazy. Trust me, it'll work better. Your audience won't be scratching their head going, what's with the barn dance? It'll make sense. It'll be cool. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest, lads. I just had to.
Let it out. Let it out. Let it out. We're your therapist. Go right ahead.
Oh no, you don't want that.
You really don't want that at all. I'm going to nip.
We will.
I think at this stage I'm going to nip that in the bud right now, and we're going to cut to the trailer. Just let everybody have a quick look at the trailer, because the last time we had the trailer on, we were
talking during it.
Because the boss wants us to talk during it. So
green-headed neon.
Okay. So we'll cut to the trailer. We'll cut back to you guys in 2 seconds. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Here comes the trailer.
The whole world's a maze of different things. The worst to send you around and making you lost is love. And at the end, you'll find some paradise island. Yous all follow the same beaten rules on love. Problem is, you see paradise, but you've never seen the island. All love goes lonely sooner or later. Real love is looking somebody square in the eye and telling them with straight words, I ain't gonna hurt you bad.
And we're back.
And that was the trailer for Pitchfork. Ha
That's actually the teaser. That's a little teaser. The trailer 1 and trailer 2 are actually released a month before the film comes out.
Oh, Okay, well, in that
nice.
case, that was a teaser for Pitchfork.
Yeah.
Haha.
It's a little tease.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be mid-December. The official trailers are out, and the release should be last week of January, first week of February. The official release of it. So,
Cool. And is it going cinemas or?
yeah, it's a limited theatrical release. We're not sure yet where. It'll depend on how the marketing, how much the marketing penetrates.
Yeah.
And what they decide. Right now, they said 50 or less theatrical, but it could go. If the marketing and the audience response is good, then it could go bigger. 100, 200. You have to wait and see.
Well, hopefully now
Yeah.
we're showing this.
But it is worldwide
We're getting more.
theatrical distribution, so you guys should get it there in Ireland too.
Awesome. So you mentioned that there's going to be a Pitchfork 2 and 3. Do you have any little hinters about what's coming up in Pitchfork 2?
I'll let him. I would tell you the whole story. I'll let him tell
But I can just
He's,
I can let
he's
you know that-
depuppied anyway, I understand. No, not neutered.
Pitchfork 2 is 5 years later.
Right.
So we can just leave it at that it's 5 years later. And then Pitchfork 3 is a prequel. We go back to when he was a little boy and the characters that were involved in his life when he was a young
Pitchfork, 40
boy.
years.
So we debate the point. I think you got to do the prequel next with a mom and pop because they're so creepy.
Who's Mom and Pop?
They know.
They do.
Yeah.
The audience doesn't.
Yeah.
I suggest calling.
I actually, they are two very, very creepy characters. Like, as in, you're wondering about the whole Pitchfork thing, and then you meet the
Oh, no.
origins of Pitchfork,
They
and you're
made-
like,
they made,
oh yeah, okay, I
they
get it
made
now.
total sense to me. I was like, my people's.
I would be a big fan of I'd be a big fan of a prequel first.
I
Yeah,
suggest,
that.
I suggest
That really
calling it
appeals
Puppy
to me.
Days and spell it
Prequel.
spell it
Origin
D-A-Z-E.
stories.
Nice.
Don't-
Nice.
Also, I suggest keeping whoever the fuck you got to do the makeup and special effects for the torture stuff, because I gotta say,
Oh,
the barbed wire thing, that was so tasty. I don't.
Yeah, we're actually very fortunate because it was an intern that we had, and he'd only done
Wow.
6 months of makeup. Yeah, so he's taken off now. We have a hard time getting a hold of him. He's in Vegas, but he's doing all kinds of horror stuff now. So he's
I'd imagine
he's
so,
right.
because the special effects in it are absolutely impeccable.
Once again, it's something that when you look at a lot of independent films, you can tell they're being done on a shoestring budget and all the rest of it.
Sausage guts.
But the effects, the makeup, the practical effects, the kills, the bit with the knife in the tree, that was good. That was a nice bit of.
What was the intern's name?
Chris Arredondo.
Give him
Or you can just call him Chris Gore.
Yeah,
Gore.
Chris
Chris
Gore.
Gore.
Yeah,
Do yourselves a favor, get him back in.
Oh, we just want to
yeah. We will. He's
give
ready.
Zachary
Yeah, he's ready.
having
Yeah.
his name out there.
And then the still makeup was Candace Meyer. She did the still, a lot of the cuts and the wounds.
They-
So
They did a great
yeah, we're
job.
lucky to have both of them on.
Once again, this goes to like I said earlier, the film visual look of the film is very slick and very well put together, especially for something that is basically an independent movie. The amount of independent movies that are flooding the market that look like they've been shot on a camcorder or whatever else, I'm not trying to diss them for that. I'm just saying you wouldn't tell that you were after. Honest to the gods, man.
But
I
even-
thought you were
even-
after getting your buddies in MTV studios or whatever music world you're from and kind of gone, I've done you a favor, give us all this stuff and let it run right.
music world you're from.
We're lucky because I did have good working relationships with people in the 25 years. So even the props and everything like that actually came from American Horror Story.
Oh,
So-
no way.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and they came to us for free.
I was
That
actually-
was good.
I was
Shout out
actually
to
going to
them.
say when you're in the kind of the cabin and in the home where Pitchfork is, that I was like, it was reminding me very American Horror Story of like the current season at the moment, the family
Yeah,
that's there.
Roanoke.
Yeah, Roanoke, which we talked about
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, when we went into the project, the four biggest things that we talked about that were important and that we read that where people fall short in making a micro budget film is we knew we had to have a great cinematography, sound, acting, and story, and so that's what our main focus was, especially in sound and cinematography. Even now we're doing the film festival circuit now, and you can see they didn't do the post sound where it's real quiet and they're missing some of that extra
cups clinking and
yeah, just little element to add more to the environment of watching the film. So we made sure we did that. Iceman Audio out of Los Angeles did the post-production sound. They did a fabulous job, especially for our budget, what we had. They really put a lot of time and effort into it. So
people don't realize how subconsciously your brain will pick up, a spoon landing on a table but no sound first. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. People don't get it.
Or even sometimes, once again, the crispness of the sound as opposed to other films whereby, like you said, they haven't been able to, or they haven't been able to afford to get the sound done properly, and it sounds like something that was recorded on a camcorder. It doesn't have the cinematic crispness that we're so used to nowadays, and as a result, kind of raises the visual and auditory aspect of this film above the normal independent bit. As it's just so fracking polished, to be perfectly honest. That's what makes it impressive.
Thank you.
No, thanks. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it was. That's one thing, because I've never done a film and he hasn't either. So we both spent a lot of time reading and researching, and that was one thing that came back with sound. Well, they said don't shorten your budget on sound. This one spot you cannot do it.
You can color grade. You can color grade, and you can kind of fix messed up video. You can't fix messed up sound.
To be honest,
no.
The fact that you've done
you can
other
black
stuff
and white
involving music
right
kind of shines through as a result.
Yeah, while watching so many horror films like I do, it's kind of like my school. It really was important about. I know how important sound is for a scary film, for a horror film. The sounds, the music, all that stuff. I know how important it's got to be to a horror fan and watching. So we made sure that was nailed in our film.
It definitely was a good job.
Yeah. No, we really, really enjoyed it, and we're very much looking forward to having some of the cast on next week.
Yeah, we'll get them over to you. We'll get Daniel, and we're going to do Lindsay, the blonde hair. We're going to talk to her. She's great. She's really nice girl, yeah. And
she's like, you'll see, she's complete opposite of horror. All she is fucking sunshine.
Yeah.
And you're going to subject her to us?
Yeah. Send her in your dungeon.
Scare her.
He's wearing a muzzle for
Yeah.
that interview.
I'm the nice one.
Neither of you are attractive enough to warrant me wearing something like that.
I'm goddamn gorgeous.
But you are fucking still male.
Okay, fine.
Women only get to put a collar on me, and only if they ask nicely.
That's male racist.
Don't care.
Control yourself.
Okay, so guys, I think we're going to round it off up here. Thank you so much to Darryl and Glenn for coming on to the show and having a chat about the movie. And make sure to go check out Pitchfork when it comes out in Ireland or in America or Asia, if anyone's watching.
In Ireland too. And our website, check out our website, pitchforkfilm.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
very much for coming on, lads.
Thank you so much, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
And we're going to go away now.